Hi there, I'm Cheryl.
And I'm Nancy, and welcome to Conversations with Nancy and Cheryl. And today we are doing our first interview. We've talked about the fact that we're going to be doing interviews of interesting women doing interesting things. And so we want to introduce you to Kaycee McKenzie of Joyful Table. And she's going to be talking about her new venture, which we were lucky enough to go to the launch.
Mm-hmm. Yep. And Kaycee, why don't you tell us a little bit about your enterprise, what you're doing, and how you got here?
Thank you. Joyful Table it's a social community. It's women, friends, home cooks that are interested in local, seasonal food. And we specialize in California grown and artisan made foods.
Mm-hmm. And the event that Nancy and I went to a couple of weeks ago was actually artisan cheese and artisan honey.
Right.
Oh.
Yeah.
It was wonderful.
Yeah, it was
Right.
it was just great, and it's a combination. It really addresses all the senses, which is certainly something we're about, is living a more sensory life. So why don't you tell us a little bit about the first event and the launch that you did?
Thanks. The actual launch was held, we planned on doing a one-day event, and we were so lucky. We had such a great turnout. It ended up being 2 days long. So we had two different groups of women. We brought in a cheesemaker named Rebecca King from Garden Variety Cheese, and we featured 5 of her cheeses in the tasting, and then a beekeeper named Wayne Pitts from Uvis Gold Apiary. And what we do is we do a vertical tasting of the cheeses, and then we do an actual meal where we incorporate the cheese and the honey into a starter, an entree, a side, and a dessert.
And it was beautiful. Kaycee had it at her home, and the table was set absolutely beautifully. We also had some wines, from local wines.
Local wines,
We did.
That were paired with the cheeses. And what was really fun was, I've never been a major cheese fan, but it was education that went along with trying the cheeses. And she had notes. So I kept my notes, and this cheese, they do sell at some of our farmers markets. So it'll be easy for us to get, and it was just it was
really wonderful, and it really allowed you. I got much more aware of the look of the cheese, the colors, the
texture,
smell, and not only the taste, but just the full range of flavors and varieties.
I think what's really fun is that every month we focus on a different ingredient, and so that we can really learn to connect with the food that we're eating. And that's why we, at these tasting parties, we invite the actual makers in to meet with us and talk about their food and their processes and their techniques for
that makes it so much more enjoyable, rather than just eating the food.
Yeah.
Well, we've got a backstory.
Right. Well, and the beekeeper, the honey guy, if you will, he was a former software engineer.
Yeah. He was.
Yeah, that took up beekeeping, and he has a charming story. And so not only do you get this wonderful local honey, you get the history and, like you said, the backstory behind it.
Right. And I think it's really important, this connection between what is on your plate and where it's coming from, and it makes it so much more interesting. But at the tasting parties, a big piece of what we do is we put together, and you alluded to the tasting grid, so we can look at the taste or the texture, the aroma. And I've been in the business of entertaining for my entire career, and to learn more about what we're eating and connect to it in a different way and learn to differentiate flavor is still new to me. And so I'm learning along with everyone that's joining us at the Joyful Table. So it's just so much fun.
And it wasn't like sometimes you go to these things and you've got the snobs who know it all.
Oh yeah, no.
And it wasn't like that at all.
No.
It was like everybody was there. It was a joyful table.
It really was.
It really was.
Yeah.
It was really fun. And the nice thing is Kaycee has this open for anybody to join, become part of the tasting groups. What
Right.
are you doing this month?
This month we're focusing on the winter citrus, which is pomelo, Cara oranges, W. Marcotte tangerines. We'll be doing Meyer lemons and some other citrus. And
yum.
Wow.
and it sounds so simple, like, gosh, I've eaten an orange before, I know what that tastes like. But the truth is, when you really start to differentiate the flavor, and then you figure out, wow, this would be great in this salad or in that dessert, and how to, it's so much fun. And it's great to, even for beginners who really aren't cooks, I love to bring them to our table,
Right.
because then it's so exciting to just expose them to these different flavors.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that's
Well, and
great.
the nice thing is, over a table, you get to know people well.
Right.
And this was, many of us have businesses, and Kaycee made it clear right at the beginning, this is not a networking
Yeah.
thing.
Right,
This
yeah.
is getting to know people in a personal
Right,
way.
right.
And what better way than at a table?
And there is nothing like a group of women that don't know each other when they first get together, and
Right.
within 15, 20 minutes, Kaycee had to basically clamor to get our attention.
Yeah.
It was great.
Hello.
It was just great. So
Yeah.
anyway, I wish you great success,
Thank
and
you.
I certainly look forward to the next event. So
Yeah.
Thank you.
anyway, well, check Kaycee out. What is your website, and how do we get hold
It's
of you?
www.joyfultable.com, JOYFUL table, TABLE.com. And I welcome you to visit me on the website or even on our Facebook page, which is that same address.
Yeah,
And she's got a great newsletter.
yeah, terrific. I mean,
Yeah.
you just learn so much, and we hope you'll join us in one of Kaycee's future adventures. So
Thank you.
Yeah.
thanks.
And we will have all this information on our resource page at hourglassworkshops.com. So hopefully you will check it out and join us at the next Joyful Table. Thanks.
And until next time, bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.